Good evening. President Obama is pressing lawmakers harder than ever for a deal to raise the nation's debt ceiling and also shore up the country's long-term financial health.
And some say the mood in Washington has definitely changed this week. News Channel 15's Megan Royst spoke with Congressman Marlin Stutzman tonight, and what did he have to say, Megan?
Mark and Heather, Congressman Marlin Stutzman agrees the mood has changed, but he's not quite sure if that's a good thing or not. As President Obama pushes to raise the country's debt ceiling, Congressman Marlin Stutzman says tension in Washington's escalating.
A lot of apprehension, a lot of posturing.
Stutzman says this isn't the first time lawmakers have been asked to raise America's debt ceiling. And like in the past, he still isn't a supporter of it.
By raising the debt ceiling, that gives this administration and Congress the ability to borrow more money rather than to cut spending and reform our spending habits.
Stutzman would like to see the country follow Indiana's lead of requiring a debt-free budget. He says the U.S. needs a balanced budget amendment added to the Constitution and says voting on that amendment would have to be part of any deal to raise the debt limit. Whatever the outcome may be, he says he and his fellow legislators are faced with a big decision.
This is probably going to be the biggest vote that this Congress faces this year and probably next, and I believe that this is really a time in our nation's history when we need to face the facts and realize that the arithmetic just doesn't add up.
Although Republicans like Stutzman aren't in favor of raising the debt ceiling, they're willing to compromise as long as the country's spending behaviors change.
We have to sit down at the kitchen table like every family does and say, okay, what can we do without? Can we do with without some cable TV?
Stutzman says people from around the district have told him they want the U.S. to have a balanced budget. They're willing to do with less.
We're willing to figure out a way to make sure that we are fiscally sound for the future of our country.
Congressman Stutzman says he and his fellow Republicans don't want Obama to raise taxes for the wealthy. Instead, they'd like the U.S. to cut its spending and cap it for the future. And from what Stutzman has heard, Obama would like Congress to come to a decision by sometime next week.
Okay, thanks, Megan.